next point that we want to see here is about language. Language in the play, language and symbolism going together in the play The Birthday Party. So keep that page open. Keep that page open from the material website about language in The Birthday Party. Okay, you will find language in Birthday Party. Yes? So that page you keep open, and we will very quickly, I will ask you what are the points given there, and we'll do a quick reading of those things. Quickly have an overview. What are the aspects? Language, symbols. What are the symbols used as the linguistic aspects in the play? Language in The Birthday Party. Okay, so what are these aspects that we see here? Yes.
Sir, the language is
simple, clear, and straightforward, to
straightforward.
understand. Yeah, to understand. That is one aspect you find here. It is very simple. And clear here. Okay. But what we will see here is that this simplicity of a language is deceiving. The simplicity is deceiving. So beneath the simplicity, there are deeper implications. Deeper implications. So that is how it becomes that what we see as something that is very simple is not actually very simple. It is not that clear. We need to see much deeper implications of that straightforwardness of that simple and clear language. So it becomes very deceiving. If we perceive the words as they are, then it is very છેતરામણી છે. એમની clarity બહુ છેતરામણી છે. That is how it is. The same thing is true about writers like Robert Frost also. Robert Frost's language is very simple, very clear, but it is very deeply philosophical also. Very deeply philosophical. The same thing we find in Wordsworth also. Beneath the simplicity of their writing, there is a very deep philosophy of life, which is put into that. Whereas here, it is not the philosophies of life like Wordsworth or other writer. It is actually deceiving. It is not that what it meant to be. It is something else that it tries to convey in that language. So in couple of examples, we will try to see that how we can see this aspect of the language, that how it is deceiving.
Sir, there is a shift from casualness to absurdity.
Yes, from casualness to absurdity, you can find that also, that there is a shift from
Casualness to absurdity.
To absurdity. Yes, so something that seems to be very casual and very simple, and it is very normal. That is not very important thing. Casual કે બસ આ તો નાની મોટી અમસ્તી અમસ્તી વાતો થાય છે એવું લાગે. અમસ્તી વાતો કરે છે બે પાત્રો, એટલે આ બહુ મહત્વની વાત નથી એ, અને suddenly that becomes absurd. It turns into more of absurd and existential crisis. If you can also open the original text from the play, original play. So there also we can see this. Or I will share the screen here so we can see. Okay, let us first see the character, and then we will come to the examples together. Okay. Yes. Then what are the other aspects in this? You find here is what other things
Lack of
like
cohesion
the
and coherence.
lack of
Cohesion and coherence. And it creates absurd. And that absurdity is also a very well planned objective.
lack of cohesion and coherence. That is what the next one you can see in this. Yes, and which again is like a planned objective to see that that happens there. Okay. Then use of oral language, you will see language, use of language, oral language. After that, it is non-verbal devices, non-verbal devices
And symbols.
and symbols here. Yes. So use of oral language. Dialogue in printer is always deceiving. At the beginning of this play, we often find two people in a room having breakfast or reading the news. Normally, most of his plays begin in this way, that two people are there in a very casual environment. It's a very normal morning, as it's not a special day. Now, see, this all we have to see in a context of how plays or tragedies were perceived. Like in Greek, it was like you can't have any casual day about which you tell a story. It should be something happening. That's why when we say what is plot, plot is the selected events in the life of somebody, and it is not a normal day. It is a special day. Something significantly happens on that only is selected. Whereas here, very casual way the play opens. It is like a routine day. It is like an everyday. That is how these plays open. So they are breaking those canons of classical tradition of writing plays. Breakfast and reading newspaper. After some minutes, they start talking, and the conversation sounds casual, yet very realistic also. But little by little, sense there is something wrong. Then we say that, well, there is something problematic. Then we start like experiencing a fear for those characters. We start, I don't know for what, but we start like having the feeling of fear for, or rather, those characters are afraid of not speaking something. Or not going deep into the meanings of what is spoken. What is spoken, they don't, because they are afraid of going deep into the meanings of what things are spoken. There is a shift from this, and then there is this quotation. What are you reading, Meg? As we discussed yesterday, the power conflict also can be seen into this thematic power conflict, power struggle between in a very casualness and very simple language. This PT says someone just had a baby. Oh, they haven't. Who? Some girl. Meg is insisting. This asking that who? PT who? Kon naam kon che? Give me the name. Yeah. PT says I don't think you would know her. Well, what's her name? Lady Mary Splat. I don't know her. Meg says, I don't know her. Obviously, you can't know everybody there. No, it's what is it? What is it? What is it? What is that baby? What is that baby? What is it? Studying the paper, going thoroughly, and says, it's girl. Not a boy? Not a boy? Meg is asking this. No. Oh, what a shame. I would be sorry. I would much rather have a little boy. This now, this conflict, as we have seen yesterday, the reading newspaper puts PT into a power position, and then this asking question and insisting by insistence by Meg on this, what is this news? It again, she is trying to have a struggle with the power position, and then here PT is pushed into the margin by the idea that you are important. You are not able to give me a child. That is what the conversation can be seen. So what we read, from casualness to this kind of an absurdity or straightforward conversations, are very deceiving. You have to read all these things here. You have to read. You can't just say that, well, it is normal. No, it is not normal. There is a power struggle going on in this routine oral language. And then there are this interrogation scene, for example. In the interrogation scene, you will see that interrogation scene. In this, how these three characters, Stanley,
Goldberg.
Nat Goldberg, and Dermot McCann. These three characters, how they have this power conflict among themselves. How Stanley is in power position, then how it is there is a physical violence, little bit of physical, but then there is lots of verbal violence, verbal, that is that use of oral language, verbal violence. And what is the tool here is questions. All, you can say, absurd questions, all absurd questions, and series of questions, torrent of questions. જાણે એમની એક પ્રશ્નોનો વરસાદ વરસાવી દીધો, આખી એક જડી પ્રશ્નોની વરસાવી દેવામાં આવે, એ રીતે પ્રશ્નોનો મારો જવાબ આપવાનો પણ સમય ના આપવામાં આવે, એ રીતે તૂટી પડે પ્રશ્નો દ્વારા એના ઉપર. That is how the interrogation scene, and that is use of language, that how this language can become a weapon to subdue somebody. That is how it can be seen. Let me see. Let me share this dialogues. Let me share this screen. Are you able to read? Let me know if you are able to read these pages or not.
Yes, sir, it is readable.
Readable, no? Okay, so if you're able to read, let us see. So Stanley Goldberg, this question, that what can you see without your glasses? The question that on page number 52, I'm reading that. Okay? What can you see? And anything, take off his glasses. Yeah, let me see if I can get it here also. Spectacles, as we have seen, also is the symbol of this. So I say that if we take your spectacles, glasses, what you see, well, Stanley says, I can see anything, even without that. Okay, let me make it a little bit larger. Okay, Goldberg, take off his glasses. McCann snatches his glasses, and Stanley rises, reaching for them, takes his chair downstage center below the table. Stanley stumbling as he follows them. Clutches the chair, and he bends down over the chair there. Weber, you are a fake. Weber, you are a fake. They stand on each side of the chair. When did you last wash up a cup? Now see the questions. How absurd and stupid question, but oral language. This is the oral language. The more the stupid language, the more the absurd language, it is more terrible to answer. More terrible to answer. But language becomes the weapon, and you keep on go on doing the absurd pronunciations of the words and language, and it has its own effect on people. It has its own here a terrible effect on Stanley. So he says that you are not able to see anything. You are a liar. You are a fake. And then when did you last wash up a cup? So is the reference about he was working in a restaurant where he was washing the cup, or is it that in a household work is he doing those things or not? Stanley says Christmore before, and he answers also. Many of those questions are, which seems to be meaningless, are answered by Stanley. So it again becomes another shock or surprise to us that Will Stanley is answering all these questions. He says Christmas before last, where, Leon's corner house, which one, Marble Arc, where was your wife? Suddenly another question. Where was your wife? And he says starts giving an answer. તારી પત્ની ક્યાં હતી? અને જવાબ દેવાનું શરૂ કરી દે છે. પણ એને એ જવાબ આપે એ પહેલા જ answer. So you're not given a space to give. See, sometimes this kind of situations happens in interviews also. In interviews, you face an interview and then people start asking questions after questions. And then by the time you answer, even if before you just mumble up something, they start telling, tell, ask, answer, this, that. And then people get completely confused. The one who is already confused, the one who is facing interview is always nervous. And this torrent of questions makes person more nervous also. It doesn't give a space to speak in that context there. Many times these things are done to see whether you are getting nervous or not. As a person appearing, it is not that whether you know the answers or not. The objective is not to know whether you know the answer. It is just to see whether you get nervous or not. So how stable you remain when you have torrents of questions that you have to face. Answer is turning, he's crouched. He says, what wife? What wife? What have you done with your wife? What have you done with your wife? He has killed his wife. Before he answers or he tries to comprehend the question, પ્રશ્ન સમજવાનો હજી પૂરો પ્રયાસ કરે એ પહેલા જ મેકકેન કહી દે છે કે he has killed his wife. Now see, if this is true, it means that Ned Goldberg and McCann are knowing something about Stanley, which is a very fishy past, which is very problematic past. Now, if I compare this with our initial discussion about Diego Maradona or Che Guevara or Fidel Castro or all those things, then you will say that even they have a problem. The very goal, which is known as Hand of God, the World Cup of 1986, which was won by Argentina, and he was the captain. And that was a foul play. It was his hand touch, which he accepted also later on, but it was not known by the umpire. Many English player, England was the team, and they argued. You can see those videos also even today that those players are arguing with umpire that there was a hand touch. It is a foul. It is a foul. It is not a fair goal. But in those years there were no cameras, so there was no third umpire. There was no technology. Now we have a better technology that you ask to third umpire, and third umpire observes from various angles. But at that time, only the umpire on the field has to give the judgment, and judgment was given in favor of Maradona. And if you are a good player, if there is a sportsmanship in you, then you will say yourself that it was a foul. You yourself will say, but Maradona didn't say this. That is also the aspect of his character. When you make somebody a hero out of something, at the same time you remember that all heroes, they have a blood on their hands. They have a blood on their hands also. So Stanley, as we have seen that we can't sympathize with Stanley. We can't sympathize. When you read the story of the IAS or IPS officers which we are talking about, you will find, well, there is something wrong. There is blood. There is blood on their hands also. We can say that, well, but these are normal things. This kind of things happen in administration or when you are an IPS officer. And not all people are punished because of this, because of custodial death, for example. Many times it happens, but you don't see that the IPS officer for that is imprisoned for that. There are punishments given, but not a severe punishment as are given to some people. Few people are punished more rigorously, but there is something wrong. There is blood on the hand that we can't deny in this thing. So is this true that he has killed his wife? Goldberg, why did you kill your wife? Why did you? And in a play, it is continuous question. You don't give any time to Stanley to even think or comprehend what to answer. And if you don't answer, it is concluded. જવાબ ના આપી શકો તમે તો સામેવાળા વ્યક્તિ કન્ક્લુડ કરી શકે, અચ્છા હત્યા કરી છે, કેમ હત્યા કરી હતી, શું કામ હત્યા કરી હતી? ત્યાં પછી પેલાને ખબર પડે કે પણ મારે પત્ની જ ક્યાં છે, મેં તો લગ્ન જ નથી કર્યા, ને અહીંયા મારી ઉપર આરોપ લાગી ગયો કે મેં પત્નીની હત્યા, ને હું જવાબ આપું ના આપું એ પેલા તો એ જજમેન્ટ આવી જાય છે કે યુ આર અ મર્ડરર ઓફ અ વાઇફ. અચાનક પેલો જાગીને જુએ પણ મારી વાઇફ જ ક્યાં છે, મેં લગ્ન જ ક્યાં કર્યા છે? What is this accusation? That is where torrent of questions and the effect of that, that how. So in today's time, troll, media, સમાચાર પત્રકો બધું એટલી ઝડપથી બધું પીરસવા માંડે કે સાચું શું હતું એ તો પૂછતા જ વાર લાગે. જે પ્રશ્ન પૂછીએ કે સાચું શું, એ પેલા તો કેટલું બધું ખોટાની તરફેણમાં આવી જાય કે the chakachond, the blindness, white blindness, it doesn't allow people to think also now in these kinds of media bleeds. Stanley, it says, what wife? How did you kill her? How did you kill her? Both of them are asking question. You throttled her with arsenic, poison. Jer api દીધું છે, ગળે ટૂપો, throttled her. There's your man. Where's your old mom? હજી એમાંથી બહાર આવે ત્યારે મમ્મીને તે શું કર્યું? Where is your old mother? In sanatorium. Stanley here says in sanatorium. પાગલખાનામાં અથવા કોઈ વૃદ્ધાશ્રમમાં એમાં ત્યાં. Yes, why did you never get married? Now see the question. Why did you never get married? This she was waiting at the porch. She was, એટલે તારી વાઇફ છે, લગ્ન જેની સાથે કરવાના હતા એ રાહ જોતી હતી, ચર્ચમાં લગ્ન થવાના હતા, પોર્ચ ઉપર એ રાહ જોતી હતી. You skedaddled from the wedding. Skedaddled એટલે લગ્ન માટે આવવું ને પછી ભાગી જવું. લગ્ન માટે તૈયાર થઈને નીકળવું ઘરેથી, પણ લગ્નની જગ્યાએ ચર્ચે ન પહોંચવું, પણ વચ્ચેથી ભાગી જવું. You skedaddled from wedding. He left her in the lodge. You left her in the pudding club. She was waiting at the church. Weber, why did you change your name? See the questions. We can't understand anything. As an audience, we don't know. Stanley is confused in his own way what to tell, but maybe he is shocked because these two people have come with some information which Stanley was hiding from everybody. Perhaps he was hiding some information. Perhaps they know. Now see, this information or knowledge, it itself becomes a power, and that also can become a weapon. If I know something about the other, I am more powerful. And when I use that my knowledge about the other, then I can easily exercise my power and I can easily subdue the other. Even in the post-colonial argument, Edward Said said the same thing, that when the West started reading the Orient, then that reading of the Orient gave them the power to write about the Orient. And they start telling the story that Orient is this. Whereas Orient was telling that we are not like that. We are that, this also and that also. અમે એ છીએ તો આ પણ છે. અમે તમે કહો અમે અભણ છીએ તો ના અમે ભણીએ પણ છે. But then that story was, there was nobody to listen. You don't have a language for that. You're not given that chance also, perhaps this. So is that she was waiting at the church. Why did you change your name? Why did you change your name? Stanley, now see, he answers sometimes very curiously. He says, I forgot the other one. કદાચ એ મજાક કરવા કહે છે કે ભાઈ આવા પ્રશ્ન પૂછો છો બાલિસ્તા ભેરા, હું મારું પેલું નામ ભૂલી ગયો હતો એટલે મેં બદલી કાઢ્યું. What's your name now? What's your name now? અત્યારે તારું નામ શું છે? Joseph. He says Joseph. Now, well, whether he is making fun of the interrogator, Goldberg and McCann, or is he trying true? We don't know. Unreliability, uncertainty. This gives from casualness to absurdity that we see. It seems to be simple, straightforward, clear, but no, it is very deceiving. This conversation, this oral language, power struggle is still going on there. It is very deceiving. We can't rely on anybody here. Neither the questions nor the answers. Nothing is reliable. What's your Joseph? You stink of sin. You stink of sin. There was also stinking in Beckett, and that was of breath and feet. Perhaps that breath and feet also is symbol. There also is crime. They both are stinking of some crime, or if not crime, we can say they are stinking of past. Past, and that is time. They are thinking of time. They are thinking of past. Something is there in the past that it doesn't give us a better smell. I can smell it. Do you recognize an external force? What? Do you recognize an external force? What's the question? Do you recognize an external force responsible for you, suffering for you? Are you understanding the other people who are suffering for you? Stanley says it's late. Now this is again very interesting. It means that Ned Goldberg જે પૂછે છે એ સ્ટેનલી સમજે છે બરાબર. આપણે નથી સમજતા ઓડિયન્સ તરીકે, પણ સ્ટેનલી ને એમને માટે એ સંદર્ભ, that context is very clear for him perhaps. એટલે એ ક્યાંક જોડાયેલા છે. અંદરખાને એ જાણે છે. ભલે બાહ્ય રૂપે તમે અજાણ્યા લાગતા હો, પણ અંદરથી કદાચ you are knowing. He says now it's too late. કે હવે બધું એ મોડું થઈ ગયું છે. Let us imagine કે કદાચ કોઈ એજન્સી હશે કે જે મોટા કોન્સર્ટ્સ રાખતી હોય, એમાં આમનો કોન્ટ્રાક્ટ કરેલો હશે પિયાનિસ્ટ તરીકે, અને એ ગયેલો હશે અને એને કોન્સર્ટમાં પ્લે કરવાનો છે. ઓડિયન્સની ટિકિટ બધી વેચાઈ ગઈ હોય અને કેટલા બધા લોકો હોલ ભરાઈ ગયો હોય, અને અચાનક સ્ટેનલી ત્યાં ન જાય, અને પછી એક હાહાકાર મચ્યો હોય. લોકોએ ટિકિટના પૈસા પાછા આપવા માટે રાડો પાડી હોય, અને એ ઓર્ગેનાઇઝર્સ બહુ મુસીબતમાં મુકાઈ ગયા હોય, એમને પૈસા પાછા આપવા પડ્યા હોય, એ પેનલાઇઝ થયા હોય, એ હેરાન થયા હોય, અને પછી આને શોધતા હોય કે because of you we were in a panic situation, we have a financial loss also, we have a loss of reputation also, and you have to pay for that. Let us imagine it is like this. Or maybe some gangster for which Stanley also was working, and then they have given some work. Now he says that I don't want to work for you, and they said no, you can't go in that way. He says it is too late, but it is not too late then. Or let us say this government organization, Monty is a government organization, these people are telling, and they say that we told you to do this, why are you doing all this? See પ્રસૂન જોશી કેવી સરસ મજાના કાવ્યો હવે કરે છે. પેલા જુદી વાત હતી, હવે કેવું સરસ બોલે છે. તું કેમ એના જેવો બની જતો નથી? તું કેમ આમ બદલાઈ જતો નથી? Why don't you change like Prasun Joshi or many other such artists, writers, filmmakers, actors, and why don't you change with the change in the power? સત્તા સાથે પરિવર્તન સાથે કેમ તમે બદલાઈ જતા નથી? અમે તમને ક્યાં ના ક્યાં પહોંચાડી દેશું. Stanley Kate is too late. Now I don't want to be the part of that game. I don't want to. So lot many things can be read. Lot many things possibly can be read into all these kinds of things there. So even those IPS or IS officers which you're talking about, if they would have changed with the change of power, if they might have compromised, then they would have been at higher positions today. They might have been perhaps placed at a higher position. I say it's too late here. Late enough. When did you last pray? When did you last pray? He is sweating. McCann says. Goldberg, when did you last pray? McCann, he is sweating. In the number, is the number, see, there is no answer. Stanley is not able to give answers. Is the number 846 possible or necessary? Very stupid question. Very absurd question. Is the number 846 possible or necessary? Stanley here says both. Wrong. Your answer, as if the KBC show is going on. The interrogation, a variety of things. It's your answer is wrong. Is the number 846 possible, necessary? Stanley says neither. Wrong. Is the number 846 possible? Or this is the repetition of that question. Both, he says. Wrong or neither, he says both. Many times personal job after confused hai to chalo both. Both A and B, all of the above. He says both. Wrong. Why did you think the number 846 is necessarily possible? Must be. Wrong. It's not. It's only necessarily necessary. We admit possibility only after we gain necessity. It is possible because necessary, but by no means necessary through possibility. The possibility can only be assumed after the proof of necessity. And Macken, Macken ne બધું સમજાઈ ગયું. You can write. Macken says right. Macken understood what Goldberg was telling here. Another page of this conversation. Yeah, here. Goldberg, right? Yes, of course, right. Macken, right. You can right, of course, right. We are right and you are wrong. Weber, all along the line. We are right, you are wrong. All along, બધી જ બાબતોમાં અમે પહેલેથી સાચા છે તું પહેલેથી ખોટો છે. અમે પહેલેથી સાચા છે તું પહેલેથી ખોટો છે. All along the line. Maybe it makes that they were equal. Perhaps Ned Goldberg and Stanley, they were equal somewhere in government organization, as an artist, or whatever we say. In whatever way we see, they perhaps were equal. But Macken is new. Macken is a new person. So he's not knowing Stanley, but perhaps Goldberg and Stanley, they said, but he said, હું પહેલેથી સાચો તું પહેલેથી ખોટો જ હતો. It's like as if there are two brothers in film Diwar trying to say, मेरे पास क्या है, तेरे पास क्या है, and then the police officer says, I was always right because I have a mother. And you were always wrong. Right from the beginning, you were always wrong. And he says that, well, somebody wrote this, मेरा बाप चोर है. Then what is my fate? My fate was written by this, that मेरा बाप चोर है. Then what you expect from me to become if not chore? And then you have a mother, you had something, so you became a good police officer and became a very bad chore. I became. They both have their own justification, but right from the beginning, they were much different. Stanley, Goldberg. All along the line, where is your lechery leading you? તારી લુચ્ચાઈ જો તને ક્યાં લઈ જાય છે. That is what Goldberg tells to Stanley. Macken, you will pay for this. Goldberg, you stuff yourself with dry toast. You contaminate womankind. Macken, you contaminate. Macken ને કંઈક ઘણું બધું ખોટું આના વિશે કહી દેવામાં આવેલું છે સ્ટેનલી વિશે. એટલે એમને જ પેલી ચા કરતા કેટલી ગરમ હોય એ રીતે મેકેન એનું બિહેવિયર કરે છે. અને એમ કે આ ગોલ્ડબર્ગ બોલે છે બધું સાચું જ છે. Whatever Goldberg is accusing Stanley, everything is true. So he keeps on concluding. So like when it is told, so when, for example, if I tell you to read about this officers who are in prison now then I have to make a point also that it is not that they are completely innocent. Otherwise you may say that, well, I was telling that they are innocent and they are in prison. No, it is not so. It is always something wrong being done. There is always something wrong being done. There is always a blood on the hand. There is obviously there. It is not so. And with that, there are the things that keep on happening. With that, there is always the thing that keep on happening. And that is very significant and important point in discourse and any kind of debate that we do. And with that also we can give a defense. With all those things also we can then say that, well, still, if I have to take my stance personally, I would say that, well, it is better to be anti-power than with these people. Now, even if they are wrongdoers, they still can be pardoned. They are not a kind of a people who has a real blood on their hands, whereas the other people have real bloods on their hands also, real blood. So this is what we debate and say. But there is this problem is obviously there. That is what in Edward Said's argument also, that you say Arabic people, they are portrayed in a wrong light, in a different way. But when Arabs are also doing that, it is not that they are not doing those kinds of things. That also is the kind of a thing there. So when you will, like if you will listen some of the interviews of Fidel Castro by American journalists, very interesting arguments are being said. That one lady journalist is asking that you do not have a freedom of press in your country. Fidel Castro, you are not giving freedom of press. So he says that, well, our definition of freedom is different than yours. You Americans have a different definition of that, and we have a different definition. Then he says you do not allow a kind of march on the road. If people are unhappy, they cannot come on the road. So he says that, well, in our country, people are not happy. Fidel Castro says that in our country, people are not unhappy. They are not unhappy, so they don't have to come out. We ask everybody what we have to do, and so we do. So there is no need. So it is yours is a different country, ours is a different country. You do things without asking people, so people have to come on the road. We ask people and we do the thing. Everything is not true in all these conversations. Just everything is not. His problems to America or capitalist countries are very interestingly genuine, but what they do in their countries are also problematic. And that also is. So Arabic people, what really happens in their world, how they deal with their women, what kind of liberty and freedom they give to their women, they are still problems. They are still problems also there. Okay, so this you contaminate womankind. McCann says here, why don't you pay the rent? Why don't you pay the rent? You mother defiler. Why did you pick your nose? Why did you pick your nose? See the range of question. You women contaminator of womankind. You don't pay rent. You are exploiting this old couple. Even Meg is being exploited by you. Reference of sexual exploitation also can be read, but everything is deceiving. We can't conclude anything. We can't conclude anything. So we have to put like either it can be motherly love also. Everything is deceiving. What's your trade? I demand justice. McCann says I demand justice. What's your trade? What about Ireland? What's your trade? I play the piano. I play the piano. How many fingers do you use? No hands. No society would touch you. Not even a building society. You are a traitor to the cloth. You are a traitor to the garbage. Why do you use, what do you use for pajamas? He says nothing. You verminate the shit of your birth. What about the Albigenist heresy? You watered, who watered the wicket in Melbourne? Pinter also was a lover of cricket. He also was one of those lovers of cricket game there. So this reference of cricket pitch in Melbourne, Australia, wicket is a cricket pitch. Who watered? What about the blessed Oliver Plunkett? Speak up, Weber. Why did the chickens cross the road? And speak up. All this series of kind of question which seems to be completely absurd. This speak up, Weber. Why did the chicken cross the road? Right? Stanley frustrated little bit, angry also with all this question. He says he wanted to. Why did the chicken cross the road? And a road cross karvo ho to એટલે કર્યો હશે. He wanted to. But see the language, how he is falling down, how this interrogations in this language is now overpowering Stanley. How now Stanley is being overpowered. And this is all use of oral language. All oral language. He doesn't know, McCann says. Goldberg, why did the chicken cross the road? Now 2 times. He wanted to. 3 to 2. Yeah? Why did the chicken cross the road? Again, he wanted. Hardly he can speak now. He wanted. He doesn't know. He doesn't know which came first. He doesn't know which came first. And Goldberg says, which came first? Chicken, egg, which came first? Goldberg and McCann together. Which came first? Which came first? Which came first? See the series of this torrent of questions. And Stanley screams. Stanley starts screaming. He is no language. He is now failing to utter words. He ultimately fails to utter oral language, and he screams this. And then Goldberg says he doesn't know. Do you know your own face? Wake him up. Stick a needle in his eye. Stick a needle in his eye. You are a plague, Weber. You are an overthrow. You are a plague. You are an overthrow. You are what's left. But we have got the answer to you. We have got the answer to you. We can sterilize you. અમારી પાસે તારી દવા છે, અમારી પાસે તારું વેક્સિન પણ છે. We will make you okay. We'll sterilize you. And then you will be good fellow. We know how to deal with people like you. What about Drogida? Your bite is dead. Only your pong is left. You betrayed our land. You betrayed. You betrayed our land. You betrayed our breed. Who are you, Weber? Goldberg, what makes you think you exist? What makes you think you exist? You are dead. You are dead. You can't live. You can't think. You can't love. You are dead. You are a plague gone bad. You are no there's no juice in you. You are nothing but an order. Silence. They stand over him. Both of them stand over him. He is crouched in a chair. He is crouching himself in a chair. He looks up slowly, and kicks Goldberg. છેલ્લે કાંઈ નથી કરી શકતો. ચિલ્લાય છે પછી થતું નથી એટલે છેલ્લે એ વાયોલન્સ ઉપર આવી જાય. Physical violence. And he kicks. Now once he kicks, the other people get a chance to attack him also. એ કરે એ તો કરાવવું હતું એમની પાસે વાયોલન્સ. એક વખત તું હથિયાર ઉપાડી લે, એક વખત તું હથિયારો બની જાય એટલે અમે પછી કહી શકીએ અમે કહેતા હતા કે આ દગાબાજ છે, અમે કહેતા હતા કે આ ખરાબ માણસ છે. ચી ગુવેરા, ફિડેલ કાસ્ટ્રો, all those people with arms. We are telling, people will say, capitalists will say that અમે કહેતા હતા કે આના રસ્તે ન ચાલો, આ તો બધા હથિયારાઓ છે, આ તો ખૂનીઓ છે બધા. They will do all this kinds. આ તો ખોટા બોલનાર છે. Hand of પછી કહેશે hand of God. એવું કહેશે પછી આ બધા ખોટા બોલા લોકો છે. So it is easy to now tell them he attacked this. Goldberg falls, Stanley stands, McCann, and this. Okay, so this is, but he still Stanley circling and is trying to speak, but he is not able to speak. This failing to utter a voice is a complete overpowering. The other people are overpowering. This power struggle has ended, and there is no physical violence, just verbal violence. And what is the weapon? Weapon is questions. This kind of stupid questions, series of torrent of questions, and you can disarm other people. You can win the power conflict with this. This is a part of this interrogation scene, these questions and other thing, which very interestingly becomes a part of the study of language also. And thematically also we can see that how it is operating in the idea of power struggle in this play. Okay, so what else in the language we see here? Okay, so this is all things about this part, and you can read that. Non-verbal devices. Yes, in non-verbal devices, what are the points given in this non-verbal devices? Yes, anybody?
To give a character time to think about what he or she is going to say next.
Yes, the use of pause and silence. Yeah, use of pause and silence. So there are these three terms: pauses, silences, and noise. Yes, these are the non-verbal devices. So we see the text, pause, silence. So some space is given, but there is noise also. Noise means lots of language. Noise of things also. Noise of things as well as noise of words. અવાજ કરતા શબ્દો એમાં એ ફક્ત અવાજ કરે, એમાં કોઈ મીનિંગ ના હોય. શબ્દોમાં ફક્ત અવાજ હોય પણ એમાં અર્થ ના હોય, અર્થહીનતા હોય, પણ શબ્દો ખૂબ જ આવે. That is noise, or things also, વસ્તુનો પણ. And very interesting way, you will see the noise of newspaper cutting. Newspaper. એમને ફાડવાનો જે અવાજનો ઉપયોગ કરેલો છે. Which noise is used in the beginning of the film also. Film શરૂ થાય ત્યારે પણ એ અવાજનો ઉપયોગ કરવામાં આવે છે. And noise અને બીજું clatter sound પણ. So when you watch the film, try to get this noise also, wherever the noise of things or this language or newspaper cutting. This scene is very, very significant. Newspaper being cut by McCann. McCann is steering. But the sound, the way the sound is taken, the sound is very significant to listen. Silences, two kinds of silences, when there are lots of use of language, where you can't listen anything. That is one kind of silence. Another, when there is complete real silence. Okay, time to think, avoid conversation, extreme emotional state. So these are the use of non-verbal devices. And then symbols, and then we see symbols. So very quickly go through it and let me know one by one which symbols we are seeing here in this. Scroll down the page and have a quick observation of those things. Okay, so in symbols, what we get?
Sir, newspaper.
Yes, so symbols, yeah. Okay, so we have newspaper, yeah. And we have discussed a couple of aspects of a newspaper. One is that when PT is reading newspaper, it speaks about his power position. So newspaper can be read for its power position. Yes. Then you can also read newspaper as to hide behind.
Hide behind and avoid conversation.
Yeah. Avoid conversation also. Yeah. Mr. Ramsey also is using book for that. Yeah? Book also for this that you can see. Yeah? It can be used as mask. Yes, mask to mask ourselves beneath this all things. It can be used, and also tearing of newspapers. Yeah? Tearing of newspaper is shattering the personality, shattering the person. So when Macken is doing that, and Weber is seeing that, and he is very uneasy. He feels very uneasy when the paper is torn into pieces. There, so that's all can be read here. Yeah. Okay. Then a few other
drum.
things you read.
Yeah,
yes.
drum.
Toy drum. Yeah. Toy drum. We can see that it is the toy, like we have this monkey playing a drum. If you remember. Monkey playing a drum. So if you if you swing the key, then it will play this. So that idea we get. So that monkey is Stanley here, and he plays drum, and this toy drum is given to him as a gift. It is a gift, a birthday party gift that is given, and he plays that. So we can say he's an artist. So it is given to him some device to play. A drum is the device for the artist, but his playing is very wild, very. There is no tune coming out from his playing. So in one scene, he is trying to play the drum. But what we get is like that monkey playing the drum. You don't have any rhythm. That playing is without rhythm. So the artist has lost his rhythm. Though he's given the gift of a drum, but this artist has lost his rhythm. He is in a process of becoming a mechanical drum player. Mechanical rather than the true artist who is supposed to be free and liberated to play the way he wants to play. But here you have to say, like, if you are a part of band baja, then you can't have freedom to play the drum or any of those musical instruments the way you want to be. You have to wear similar looking clothes, red color hat, red color suited, booted, and then you have to play this. So you can't say that you are an artist. No, you are not an artist. You are the monkey who plays the drum. You are just that in that. So because you are a part of that. If you have seen orchestra being played, and then there is one person who would be doing these kinds of things. If you remember, and lots of people will play violin and various kinds of things, and he will do. Now, the real respect is given to one who is not playing any instrument. People say that, well, this is master who is just doing the hand and people are playing. Why? Because he is free to make the tunes. The others are not free to make the tunes. The violin player is not free to make his own. He has to follow the hands only. So this one who is not playing anything, he is the artist. Who is one very famous, this artist, what we call this artist, and this is Zubin Mehta. Zubin Mehta, if you recall. Anybody can just give me the reference. Zubin. Yeah, Zubin. They are not conductor, music conductor. Yeah.
Yes.
Not the conductors of the bus. Yeah.
Yeah, music conductor.
And not the bus conductors. Yeah. So even conductors are like, so he's an Indian conductor of Western and Eastern classical music. This. So now he becomes an artist, and then hundreds of people with violin and drum and various cymbals, and they are playing, but they are not artists. They are not artists. Why? Because you do not have a freedom to play in your. This is very important for artists. This is. એટલે તમે મુક્ત છો કે નહીં કહેવા માટે, બોલવા માટે કે નહીં, તો તમે આર્ટિસ્ટ છો. તમને સરસ મજાના ભજનો આવડે છે કે ગીતો આવડે છે, પણ તમે બંધાયેલા છો ને પછી કરો છો, તો you are not an artist. You are tied. You are tied. It is not the real artist. You are doing what the master wants to do. You are doing what the power is asking you to do. And when that oppression happens unknowingly, or when we are given freedom, and yet we do what the master wants to do, then it becomes bad faith. Then it becomes bad faith. That is the problem of Lucky. That Lucky can now escape. Lucky can run away. The master is blind. He will not do anything. But still Lucky is not running away. So that is that bad faith that people practice. And that was the problem that we were trying to see earlier when one of the film actress, I think Zaira Wasim, stopped being an actress and became a religious. He says, my religion is coming in between from what I am doing. So I am doing. So that was the act of that. It is a personal choice, but then according to Sartre, it becomes bad faith. The choice that we make out of those things makes it a bad faith. So toy drum as a symbol and all these things we can read here in this. Then what else is there?
Sir, I was having one question in the toy
Yes.
drum.
Yes, yeah.
Sir, we can interpret that Stanley as an artist has submitted to the power. So when there is submission, then there is also the scope of rebelling. So can we interpret his? We can't, as such, interpret his character as being rebelling against the power. But his playing of drum is somewhat harsh. So can we interpret like that he is rebelling or he is against the power?
Yes, his attempt to play this and the way he wanted to play, become very harsh. Another thing is his chatpatahat that he want to, but he knows he cannot do that. That's why he is in exile. As an artist, when you read, he is an artist in exile. So obviously, he knows that now rebel means to die. It is now like it is as clear as that now you raise a voice means you are dead. You will be imprisoned somewhere in an unknown place, and there is an end of life. So you are running away. You are escaping, because that escape is also an act of resistance. But that also is a reason that you do not have now courage to face the power. And so his attempt, we can read that it is his attempt to play at something, but he is now not able to play because one side is afraid. One side there is that anxiety that, well, I'm not able to say what I want to say. And then what music comes out is without any rhythm, without any tune, without any meter. That way his music is being coming out. So that all things can be read. એક એમને બોલવું છે પણ બોલી શકતો નથી, એનો વસવસો છે, એમાં એમની ટ્યુન ખોવાઈ જાય છે. બીજું કે હું એ કરવા જઈશ તો પણ મને ડર છે, એટલે ડર પણ એના ઉપર હાવી થઈ જાય છે. એ બધું સાથે ભેગું થઈ અને એમની રિધમ ખોરવી નાખે છે. The playing of a drum is without rhythm, without tune. That you can read, that the lost rhythm, lost voice of an artist, that can be seen there. Yeah, okay. Windows and doors. We have seen briefly earlier also in settings also. Windows and doors, very briefly we have seen earlier also. Glasses, spectacles. Spectacles, that is the symbol also. We have seen earlier also. Vision of an artist. Yeah. So the vision is snatched away. Vision is taken off, and the vision is broken, and then promise. Snatched, broken, and promised new one. But then the new one will obviously have the conditions with that this is what you have to see. If I give you the spectacles, it will be of green color, and you will say everything green. If I will give you the spectacles, it will be of red color, and you will say everything red. So that is how it is. The promised one it will have that vision, and that then you can see and write and sing. Otherwise, not. So this is the spectacles, windows and doors for knocking. And then it becomes symbol of fear, menace. This mirror. Mirror also is the symbol. It can visualize various kinds of things. Yeah. Anybody, very quickly, what you are reading here? Psychological.
Mirror symbolizes various things. physically it reflects the object as it is.
Hmm.
Thus, it represents truth. However, psychologically, it doesn't mean the same thing. In a psychological sense, mirror symbolizes the threshold between conscious mind and the unconscious.
Yes, threshold between the conscious and unconscious mind. Yeah, yes.
By looking into mirror, one may look towards the depths of their unconsciousness. The image the mirror produces is therefore symbolic and can be made sense of in both conscious and subconscious through process.
Thought processes. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, so in the film you will find that the film will try to show us initially something through mirror, and this mirror is a rear view mirror in car. So there is a car moving, and the camera is very much inside the rear view mirror, and then slowly it is zooming out. Slowly it zooms out. So car is moving forward, and in the mirror you see backward. So forward, backward, that kind of a feeling it tries to give. So the mirror, then this threshold of past, present, conscious, subconscious, that all can be seen, and that is visualized in form of the car moving forward, and the what is past, that is visualized in the rear view mirror. And narcissistic nature also. Yes, yeah.
If it is shown as rear view mirror, we can relate this tagline of a rear view mirror and cautionary sign that objects in the mirror are closer than they appear.
Yeah, closer than they appear also. Yes, yeah, yeah. So if the threat that is there, then it is closer than it appears to be. It is very near now. The people have come, people have arrived now, and it is those people who are to be threatened by feared by Stanley. They are now coming in that car, and he must be taken into that car also somewhere. That all can be read there. And then narcissism, a mirror, and that is Meg's character can be seen into this. And the narcissistic nature does not allow her to look at the reality which is ugly. So you remain into an illusory idea about yourself only, that the world is good for me, so world is good. I just see the things from my perspective only, the narcissistic approach. And she thinks that, well, party was beautiful. Nothing wrong happened in the party. Everybody praised me. All were fake praises and other thing. But still she remains into the illusory reality of beauty, even though there is ugliness everywhere. And party, birthday party also. Yes. The titular symbol, the birthday party. So when you explain birthday party, the title, if you want to write something on that, or this also there. So anybody shall read it, this one. Birthday party and the game, and the along with that game of
Blind man's buff.
Blind man's buff.
Man's buff. Yeah, okay, blind man's buff. Yeah, yes. Who will read this paragraph?
Sir, I am reading.
Yes.
Party symbolically represents our attempts to keep ourselves in the illusory world. It is an escape into an unreal world as one is threatened to face the ugly reality of a socio-cultural, polito-religious world. Stanley is so horrified by the real world that he denies to escape into the illusory world of party. That is why he keeps on denying his birthday and also most uncomfortable during the party. The parties have an inbuilt element of fakeness. It is also used to blind common man into unreal happenings in the real world. The game played in the birthday party is equally significant. It is to blind people from the harsh realities. It helps in keeping people in their pipe dream and tomorrows.
Yes. So now, say this birthday party or any of these celebrations that people do, it is illusory. On one aspect that, well, we are not sure about that, whether that is exactly the birthday or not. It is just an imaginary date of some day. And that also is like, even if we know the exactness of this, then also 2 calendars will show me that on 2 days my birthdays fall. If there is the regional calendar or Panchang kind of thing will show something else, and then there is an English calendar which also will give me. So at least if I go by 2 calendars, then 2. If I have noted down the date of all the calendars which are existing in the world, all Panchangs and all calendars that are existing in the world, then I will have innumerable birthdays. I will have innumerable birthdays, which because this marking of birthday itself is an illusory day and date. So English calendar will give this, Panchang will tell this, the another calendar will tell something else, and I will have as many calendars, that many date of that is giving fakeness to that day, which we try to celebrate in that. And then what happens, if, for example, birthdays, then we see that, well, on birthday, by and large, children's birthdays, when they are celebrated, then children are very happy. They have to wear new clothes. And then there is a kind of sense of respect that is given to the birthday boy or birthday girl, sense of respect. So actually what we want is the sense of respect. We are in search of this. કારણ કે તે દિવસે આપણું મહત્વ હોય, બધા લોકો સરખી વાત કરતા હોય, ગ્રીટિંગ્સ આપતા હોય, ગિફ્ટ્સ આપતા હોય, કે તે દિવસે તો કે આજે નહીં ખીજાવાનું, આજે જન્મદિવસ છે, એટલે નાના બાળકોને મજા આવે છે, રોજ નાની નાની બાબતમાં કોઈ ખીજાતા હોય, એ દિવસે કોઈ નહીં ખીજાય. આજે તો બધા કહેશે કે વાહ, નવરાવશે, ધોવરાવશે, સરસ કપડા પહેરાવશે, and people will be greeting with smiling faces. So that is the urge of a child. Child ને એ જોઈએ છે, પણ child ને બધાને એ જોઈએ, sense of respect everybody wants, પણ એના માટે કામ કરવું પડે. We have to work hard to earn sense of respect, a kind of a hard work. પણ hard work આપણે કરવું નથી. We don't want to do hard work. આપણે પેલી sense of respect લઈ લેવી છે બધા, કે મારું મહત્વ હોય, મને બધા યાદ કરે, મને આગતા સ્વાગતા કરે, respect આપે. We all want, but we don't want it as a result of hard work. Easily આવે, મારું મહત્વ વધે. That is the tendency of psychology which is being fulfilled in birthday parties. And that's why people keep on celebrating the birthdays in one or the another ways there. And children are much into that, because children still are not exposed into those world or how to develop sense of respect another way. So only this idea that what is people doing, so that is an illusory, completely illusory and fake respect that is given to people. Completely illusory and fake respect. આજના દિવસ પૂરતું તમને ખીજાશું નહીં, હસીને કોંગ્રેચ્યુલેશન કરશું, હેપી બર્થડે વિશ કરશું, તુમ જીવો હજારો સાલ, એવા ખોટા ખોટા ગીત ગાશું. આપણને બધાને ખબર કોઈ હજારો સાલ ન જીવે, તો એક ફેકનેસમાં રહેવાની જે મજા આવે, એ હવે જેને નથી રહેવું ફેકનેસમાં, એ કહે કે ભાઈ સ્ટુપિડ બર્થડેઝ, it's not necessary at all as such to be celebrated in one or the another way. That is that idea of fakeness around a birthday party. If you want real things in life, which is for respect or whatever we want, then real hard work also is necessary. You can't earn all those kinds of things from everybody without doing hard work. But this gives us an easy, illusory, fake way of celebrating our life in a fake way. But we don't tell that it is fake. આપણે તો એમ નહીં જ કહીએ કે ના, એ ફેક નથી, સાચું છે, મારે સાચી લાગણી છે, સાચા ઇમોશન છે અમારા, એટલે અમે આ કરીએ છીએ. But એ જે આપણે સાચું માનીને બેઠા છે, એમાં પણ એક fakeness, that also is a kind of a fakeness. So that is one aspect, that how birthdays, anniversaries, all these dates, એક તો પેલા તારીખ જ માં પ્રોબ્લેમ છે, એમાં જ એક ફેકનેસ છે, અને પછી એની આજુબાજુ ઊભું થતું જે કંઈ પણ ઊભું થાય છે એની આસપાસ, એ બધામાં એક પ્રકારની ફેકનેસ અને એક એ વસ્તુ urge for respect, but not by coming out of hard work, but an easy way of earning, that is getting reflected into those things there. And then in that this in play, there is a blind man's buff game also is played, which again leads into a kind of a pipe dream, a kind of a further fakeness of blinding oneself and doing that. Even today, when we don't play blind man's buff game into any of those things, but our basic way of celebrating birthday itself is blind man's buff. આપણે જે સેલિબ્રેશન કરીએ વાસ્તવિક દુનિયામાં, એ એક આંધ્રાપાટાની રમત જ છે. આમ તો એક નાના બાળકો માટે સરસ મજાની રમત, ચોકલેટ ને જેમ્સ ને કેક ને બધું લઈ આવીને અગરબત્તી કરીને ફોટા પાડીને what we do is nothing but blind man's buff. બીજું કશું જ નથી, પણ આ જ છે, એક આંધ્રાપાટાની રમત જ આપણે પાટા વગર રમી રહ્યા છે. That is that sense that comes into this. That's why Stanley, who is awakened little bit, he knows the reality, and that's why he tells that, well, no, the realities are terrible. Well, I am in a situation where what I want to say, I can't say. What I want to sing, I can't sing. And these people who are here to celebrate my birthday, they are after my life. મારો જીવ લેવા આવ્યા છે. આ એ જ લોકો છે જે મને બોલવા નથી દેતા. આ એ જ લોકો છે જેને મારું અસ્તિત્વ ગમતું નથી. એ મને સહન કરી શકતા. હવે એ મારો બર્થડે સેલિબ્રેટ કરે છે ને, એટલું ફેકનેસ આ લોકોનું કે what are they doing? So Stanley is aware about his existential anxiety in a given situation, and those people who are celebrating, એ પણ એને ખબર છે કે આ બધા સેલિબ્રેટ કરનારા પણ એટલા જ જૂઠાળા છે, આ બધા ખોટા છે, આવું બધું ખરેખર એમને કઈ છે જ નહીં, અને હોય તો એ રોજ હોવું જોઈએ. રોજ હોય તો નાનકડું બાળકને જો આ સંવેદના જાગી જાય તો એ કહે છે કે તમે રોજ મને નવા કપડા પહેરાવો, રોજ મને આટલી રિસ્પેક્ટ, રોજ તમે મારો છો, આજે અચાનક આવો બધો વાલ પ્રેમ શું કામ? આઈ ડોન્ટ વોન્ટ ઇટ. આજે મારે નથી જોતો આ તમારો ખોટો પ્રેમ એક દિવસ પૂરતો. વાય આઈ ડોન્ટ વોન્ટ ધેટ. પણ બાળક બાળક છે, બાળક એ ન કહી શકે કે બાળકને એની અર્જ હોય, એને હજી ખબર ન હોય, પણ મોટા થઈ ગયા પછી પણ એ હજી જીવતું રહે તો આપણને પ્રશ્ન થાય કે હવે આપણે મોટા ક્યારે થશું? અને પછી તો સોલે સાન આવે, પછી તો ના આવે, 60 તો નાઠે, 60 તો નાઠે, એ આવી જાય તો 16 આવી જાય, પછી આપણે 20-25 વર્ષને હવે હું ક્યારે મોટો? હવે તમે મોટા નહીં થાવ, હવે તો તમે વૃદ્ધ થશો, હવે તો નાઠશે જે કંઈ પણ છે થોડી ઘણી, એ પણ હવે ભાગી જશે. 60 તો નાઠે, 16 આવે તો આવે, નહીતર ના આવે. સો દેન વી કીપ ઓન લિવિંગ. ચલો આપણે બધા કરીએ, એક જલસો કરીએ, એક ફેકનેસ નો જલસો કરીએ, fakeness no jalso ek apre kariye, and people keep on doing that. Is blind man's buff that people keep on playing. So individual life or collective life, that is everywhere. This idea becomes very important. Now I think you can understand the title, birthday party. A natak nu pehli wakat when I saw the title, I saw that it must be something celebration of life, birthday party. So the play must be about something wonderful happening, people's birthday, and they are celebrating. And then after reading the play and interpreting the title, we realize that, well, this is very deep. This is very deep about our fakeness in life, and how these birthday parties, for example, or any of the anniversaries that we do, is clouded under the idea of fakeness and blind man's buff. How we play the game of blind man's buff. Nari aankhe, પાટો બાંધ્યા વગર આપણે કેમ આંધળા પાટાની રમત રમીએ છીએ એકબીજા સાથે, that gets reflected into the title, birthday party here. Okay, any other observations, anybody? And the last one is characters. Characters as symbol. Characters symbolically we can read Stanley as artist in exile, Lulu as an inspiration of an artist, Ned Goldberg, McCann, social, cultural, religious, political, institutional forces which doesn't allow artists to speak in their own way, Meg, self-dreaming and self-deceiving bourgeois, people in amnesia, large number of people in amnesia that can be read, people who resist but not at the cost of personal damage, pity, people who resist but not at the cost of personal damage. This all can be read. One thing you have seen is here as an artist in society, an other character. Then you have seen also small country. Another thing, if you want to read, then you can also read this parallel. I am just putting here is small socialist country. Okay, that also, and then parallel you can read. I'm not right now typing everything, but we have studied that, so that all also can be read in a similar way in this dynamics, that how it will go on into reading of this characters. Okay, okay. Any other questions in this? Anybody, if you have any further questions, language and symbols in this play.
So I have one question
Yes,
regarding newspaper as a symbol.
Yes, yeah.
Yes, point number 5, tearing, and there you have hyphenated and shattering person is written. So I was thinking that can it be read collectively or individually?
No, the context is of this play. In this play. In
person.
In person here. So it is the Stanley who will be shattered. Tearing of newspaper becomes symbolic of shattering Stanley. Weakening, overpowering Stanley. That is why how it is used here. In this, in a general, I think. Yes.
Subjectively.
Yes.
Subjectively in that manner.
In the context of a play, in the context of this play, newspaper as a symbol, where this is used, that you can see here.
Okay, but through capitalism we can read it as subjectively, something is done for a person in that way.
Capitalism means what?
Capitalism means Goldberg and McCann Dormant are representing capitalism, USA and UK. So from their perspective, it is subjective.
So then what do you see tearing newspaper means what?
As you are saying that in person, it is considering Stanley here.
No, but what is newspaper? If you see that as capitalist forces, then what is the meaning of newspaper in that?
If symbolically we read that, then it is power position.
Means power position means control over newspaper, control over media, you want to say? Newspaper means media?
Yes, sir.
So you are reading entire media through newspaper?
Yes, sir.
That is what you want to read or what you are asking for? Then you can say it is purchasing media. Huh? It is purchasing media.
Yeah, that. Yeah.
Purchasing. Yeah, it is not tearing.
And and in that way, they have control on media.
That way. So that you can say the newspaper as the symbol of the entire media houses. And how media, when they are controlled by the capitalist corporate giants, then how it can be used against some other people, how that can be used against other people. So it is not tearing. But yeah, okay. So you can say
it is written here. So I am saying tearing.
Yes.
So in that way, I am saying that they are seeing Stanley as in subjective manner, not objectively. In that way,
so Stanley becomes a symbol. It becomes a symbol of things. So when you say Ned Goldberg and they are capitalists,
symbol of things also, in what way, sir?
Yeah, that's if you Ned Goldberg and McCann, they are the symbol of capitalism.
Forces. Yeah.
Forces of capitalism, and a newspaper becomes symbol of media.
Yeah.
Media, and in a particular scene where McCann is shown tearing the newspaper. Then you can say that it is, you want to read it as the ownership of the media houses in that capacity for that particular scene. Then you have to see then what is Stanley. How will you read Stanley in that context?
Sir, the newspaper can be read as an attempt of subjugating Stanley's voice, because if these capitalist people are controlling media and suppressing other voices, then Stanley kind of people don't have any other mediums to share their views.
Yes, so then Stanley becomes that person who is not given that voice in media, or the person who is not being like given jobs or any space also, or that voice is not uttered by that can be read, into that. But then you also have to again connect with that, with the reading of the newspaper by PT reading newspaper, that also how will you connect that? How will you connect that? What PT stands for as a news reader in that context? And Meg also,
a common man.
Yes, common man who thinks that what comes in the newspaper is truth. And Meg is the kind of people who is not even reading the newspaper. Perhaps if you are reading every day, you can start reading between the lines. કદાચ રોજ વાંચતા હોય તો હજી થોડુંક આપણને વાંચતા આવડી જાય. મેગ તો વાંચતી પણ નથી. So their stories, like people tell, લોકો કહે છે કે આમ થયું છે તેમ થયું છે, એટલે લોકો માની લે કે આમ થયું હશે અથવા તેમ થયું હશે. Now normally even not that media, it is now WhatsApp university, from where everything comes, and people believe that if it is in WhatsApp, it must be true. It must be so. That is what people now believe, instead of going into even those newspapers also. Because newspaper reading also, like when you are a reader, then you know that newspaper tries to fool people, media tries to fool people. But the answer is not that you should stop reading newspaper. The answer is not that, or stop dealing with media in television or any other thing. It is not the answer of that. It is to question that what we are reading, how we are reading, what news are coming, where is advertisement, where is journalism, all those things we start questioning. We don't become a believer of what we are reading in the paper or other kinds of things. That is what is the answer that becomes very significant there. Okay, so common man, you can say, PT, who reads the newspaper and for whom that becomes the truth, but even if he's aware, he can't do anything. And mad kind of people who are not even reading it properly. So they just conclude with whatever is told to them by various WhatsApp news and WhatsApp messages, which keeps on coming to people there. In last few days, many people have forwarded me the WhatsApp messages, and as if they are defending those messages. They not only forward, but they ask about that, what is the opinion, and then when I give my opinion, they start defending those things. So I said that, well, it is fine, the news is there, but before you defend, તમે એના પક્ષે બોલવાનું શરૂ કરો. એ પહેલા તો કંઈક પ્રશ્ન કરો. એ પહેલા તો જાતને પૂછો કે આના સિવાય તમે બીજે ક્યાં આ વાત વાંચી, ક્યાં અર્થમાં વાંચી છે, એ તો જુઓ, એ તો પૂછો. બીજો કોઈ નેરેટિવ છે કે નહીં, એટલીસ્ટ ધેટ you do it. એટલું તો પૂછો. Directly you start defending that news, which is highly full of fakeness. એવું નથી કે એ સંપૂર્ણ જૂઠ નથી હોતા. પોસ્ટ ટ્રુથમાં તમે એ એક્ટિવિટી કરી ત્યારે તમે જોયું હશે કે પોસ્ટ ટ્રુથ એટલે અસત્ય એવું નથી. અસત્ય હોય તો ઇઝીલી તમે એને નકારી શકો, પણ એ આવે સત્ય તરીકે. અને સત્ય એવું હોય કે જે ઇમોશનલી આપણને ગમે, લાગણીથી આપણને ગમે એવું સત્ય હોય. રેશનલી એ ખોટું હોય, રેશનલી ખોટું હોય, લાગણીથી ગમે તેવું સત્ય હોય. જેમ ઉકાળો પીવાથી કોરોના ન થાય, એ લાગણીજન્ય સત્યો છે આ બધા. આ લાગણીજન્ય સત્યો કે આ કરવાથી એ નહીં થાય, અથવા આપણે બહુ આધ્યાત્મિક દેશ છે, આપણે બહુ આધ્યાત્મિક છે, આપણે બહુ ઓનેસ્ટ લોકો છે, એ બધા લાગણીના સત્યો છે. અને ઇમોશનલી આપણને ગમે અથવા સાચા લાગે. આપણે જે પ્રશ્ન પૂછીએ કે ચલો આ એટલા બધા કોપી કેસ કેમ થાય, આપણે બહુ સત્યવાદી હરિશ્ચંદ્રના અવતારો છીએ અને આપણે ત્યાં એટલા બધા સારા સારા ભગવાનોએ જન્મ લઈ ચૂક્યા છે, તો પછી આપણે ત્યાં આટલા બધા કોપી કેસનું કારણ શું કામ થાય? તો એ વિચલિત કરનારો પ્રશ્ન છે. એ આપણને વિચલિત કરે કે ના ના, આવા પ્રશ્ન નહીં કરવાના, તમે અમને બહેકાવો છો, તમે અમને અમારા રૂટ્સ થી દૂર લઈ જાઓ છો, તો તમે તમારા રૂટ્સ માં કીડાની જેમ ખદબદી રહ્યા છો. You don't have that thing. So that is the truth, કે ઇમોશનલી ગમે એવું સત્ય હોય, વાસ્તવિકતા એ ના હોય, ઇમોશનલ. And that is what, અને એ હોય ત્યાં બહુ ગમે. સુશાંત સિંહ રાજપૂતમાં ખૂબ સરસ કેસ સ્ટડી લોકોએ કર્યા છે. મીડિયા, જર્નાલિઝમ, લોકોનું માનવું એટલું બધું, કે આટલું બધું અસત્ય લોકો કેમ માની લે? Why people believe into that? So very interesting research people are doing in the case of Sushant Singh Rajput, કે આટલું જૂઠાણું ચાલ્યું અને બધાએ કીધું કે બોમ્બે પોલીસ ખરાબ છે, પેલા બિહારનો પોલીસ સાચું બોલે છે, પેલા સાચા, અને without any proof we concluded. So what is that? What was that psychology? એમાં આ જ કામ કરે કે આવું બધું આપણને ગમે. આપણે પ્રશ્ન ન પૂછીએ સાચું ખોટું, this, that, and sometimes you say, okay, when people were asking me or thing, I said that, well, I think Sushant Singh Rajput was well read. He was reading good things. He was believer of science and telescope and universe and things. તો એમણે એની ઈચ્છાથી આત્મહત્યા કરી હોય તો સારી છે. You have to accept it. એમને બસ he enjoyed life and now he want to go. એમને કાંઈ suicide note તો લખી નથી કે કોઈને કહ્યું હોય કે I was emotionally disturbed, કે એવું હોત તો આપણે કહેત કે કદાચ he was disturbed and તો એ બિચારાની હાલત ખરાબ હતી, આપણે દયા ખાવી જોઈએ. Otherwise you can say, well, he was adult, he took his decision, well, accept it as it is. Why you go into the stories which are not true about various kinds of things that people are talking about in different ways. So many YouTubers were telling stories, Facebook Live, this, that, and a very interesting way. We have seen that. So that media, so newspaper becomes now a wider digital media. It becomes wider digital media, which plays the life with the shattering of personalities in different ways also. Okay, yes, any other questions?
But sir, I also have one another point to discuss about
Yes.
eating. Yeah, that though he is a common man, we can assume that for that I have to read. But if he is a common man, he is reading ugliness of reality. Right?
Yes.
But
Yes.
how he is seeing that, objectively or subjectively?
No, that we don't know. how he's seeing that, because he has not that role to play.
Yeah.
So it is not that. Now we can say that if I am PT, then how do I see the thing? That is my question now.
Yeah.
Yeah, that becomes people's question. Those who are watching the play, reading the play, if they locate themselves at that position, then it is their question now. Yeah.
Yes, sir. Okay. Thank you.
Okay. Any other questions then? Yes. Any other questions? Anybody in this language, which is a very important part. So with this view, we will have to watch. We will have to watch the play in this context of how we observe minutely all these things happening there.